This is from Danny. He says, I just noticed my $2,000 Fender says Gibson on it. No, I'm just kidding. Danny says, I just noticed my 2000 Fender Ultra Strat says Corona, California, not made in Corona, California. After some Googling, I saw claims that Fender guitars are no longer made in America. Is that true? No, it's not true. So what happened was a few years back, take us back, ish, because I got off memory, and you could probably Google this better, but at least I'll send you down the right Google road. I want to say 2015, 16, somewhere around there. Sounds about right. California passed some new laws, and some of those laws basically, the law basically said that if it's not 100% made in the USA, it can't say made in the USA. So what you saw was, I think, Seymour Duncan pedals immediately got put assembled in the USA on them. You start seeing assembled in the USA made on things, okay? At that time, Fender, I noticed Fender making the change. I was a dealer for Fender at the time. Fender made the change to Corona, California on the back plates of the guitars, and they removed the Made in USA tag decal on the back of the headstocks. Or actually, at that time, it was on the front of the headstocks, but they removed it. Now, I understand, and again, this is off memory, that California, because it was such a problem, you know, to adhere to this law, that California, I'm sorry, guys, I have something there. I have like a piece of lint, and it's driving me crazy. Okay. California, I guess, backed the law off a little bit and laxed it up a little bit, is my understanding. And again, if that ends up being incorrect, that part being incorrect, I apologize. However, the secondary part doesn't matter, which is, even though I think Fender is allowed now to actually say made in USA, I think Fender just said, screw it. We're already just putting Corona, California. That's enough. And so, you know, this is a conversation that comes up a lot. I just recently reviewed a Close guitar. That was a carbon fiber guitar. And that guitar doesn't say on it, but I asked the company. That was the longest, hardest video I've ever done on YouTube. I can tell you right now, that video, I would never make a video ever again on YouTube if they were ever all like that. It was 3.5 full, like 10-hour work days of labor on that video, and 6 edits and redos on the Close video. And it was mostly because it was so hard. I kept sending versions to the patrons because it was so hard to explain some of the crazy stuff on that guitar. And one of them was the assembled in USA term and what that means. And so essentially, for lack of a better way to explain it, the Close guitar is assembled in the USA, but for import parts. So that's the way we landed with it, the explanation, which to me is still confusing to say because I don't know what that means. When I looked up the actual laws on assembled in the USA, that was actually not confusing, but also it was misleading. Essentially, the way I read the law, which is, again, not a lawyer here, it was a saying that basically if I buy a guitar body from China and I buy a pick guard, a pre-assembled from Korea, and I buy a neck from Indonesia and I put it together in the U.S., it's because it becomes what it is in the U.S., it can say legally assembled in the U.S. And even though nothing on the guitar was actually made in the U.S. And I reread that and went to another site, and I really believe that's what it was saying, is that's the information I got. So why am I saying all that? It ties back into this California thing. The one thing I also figured out was, which is something I already knew, is that when stuff's made in the USA, it doesn't need to say it. So if you make something in the USA, you don't even have to put made in the USA on it. You only have to put where it's made if it's being imported into the USA. If you enjoyed this podcast clip, you can watch the entire episode by clicking the link in the description or streaming it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. You can also join it live every week, Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I hope to see you there. Until next time, know your gear.